and welcome back to the Listening Librarians. Katie and I are here today to share with you some holiday reads, or listens, as the case may be. So we're going to have a few festive titles for you to enjoy. So I will start off with my first one, which is a very lovely romance that I came across. It was highly recommended somewhere that I was reading about holiday romances.
We read so many reviews.
Yeah, and I thought, I got to try this. So it's called The Geek Who Saved Christmas. It's by Annabeth Albert. And our two main characters are both over 40, which that's kind of a rarity in romance, so I enjoyed that. But the first one is Gideon Holiday. And he's kind of a tech guy. He's very dapper and organized. And in his neighborhood's organization, I don't know if it's like an HOA, but you know, it's a community group. He's the one who organizes the holiday decorating for the neighborhood. And he has gone all out all these years, and he's really wanting to get his next door neighbor on board because his next door neighbor never decorates. Said next door neighbor is Paul Frost. Again, perfect name for a holiday romance. Kind of a silver fox, grumpy sort of guy who's in construction. But turns out he's got a little bit of a softer side. So Paul has a younger brother, and his brother Brandon wants to come and visit Paul for the holidays and bring his girlfriend because he wants to propose.
Okay.
And so he wants a really nice family Christmas. And Paul's just like, what do I do? Well, like I said, Gideon's been trying to persuade him to decorate outside, but all of a sudden he's like, I'll help you. We'll do all these lists, and I've got ideas for this, and this, and this, and this. And it's just incredibly adorable.
It sounds adorable.
I mean, you know, there are some steamy scenes.
Okay.
This is a romance. But aside from that, it's just adorably wholesome.
Aww.
These two people coming together and finding those puzzle pieces that match.
Aw, that's nice.
So it's read by Tim Page, and it's about 7 hours, and it's just totally worth it. I think it's my favorite holiday romance this year.
Wow, that's high praise.
Yeah. So how about you?
Well, I listened to, because I have to listen to it almost every year, Holidays on Ice by David Sedaris.
Of course.
So this is from 2008, so it's a little older, but he's hilariously fantastic. And it is narrated by him as well. So it's a collection of short stories like most of his books end up being. So if you don't know David Sedaris, he's known for like these dry humor stories, and he just reads them so like I can't even describe it, just like the cadence, I don't know. I've seen him live. I'm clearly a fan. So this is a collection of stories that center around the holidays. A lot of them are Christmas themed, but there are a few other holidays thrown in as well. And our opening story, which is probably the most well-known from the collection, is called The Santaland Diaries. And it is about how he got a job as an elf in a department store. And despite like failing the drug test and being grumpy, but he's short, so they hire him. And so kind of like chronicling his time as this elf in what is like very much supposed to be Macy's. It's funny and irreverent and a very memorable listen. And he's really good at pointing out like the madness of the holiday season without sounding like a Grinch. So I really enjoy listening to him. It's 4 hours and 19 minutes, so very short. Short, fun listen, perfect for the holiday season.
That sounds good. Yeah. The Santaland Diaries, I know I've heard it on NPR before, so it is very, very well known, but it is always worth a re-listen. Well, I'm glad you mentioned how short that one was, because the next one I have, when I was going through looking for some different Christmas audiobooks, I thought, okay, Christmas is a busy time. Maybe people want something not as long to listen to. So I found a fairly short 3-hour audiobook, which is a cozy mystery. And it's called Christmas Cocoa and a Corpse by Maddie Day. So in this one, we have Robbie Jordan, a woman who runs a country-style restaurant, and her special cocoa is a Mexican spiced cocoa. It's been really popular, so she's been making up a lot of the mix to sell. And her boyfriend, Alex, and his parents host a dinner at their place. And, she takes cocoa as a hostess gift, as you do. And one of the people at the dinner, kind of a curmudgeon.
Okay.
And he's just kind of grumping all over everything at the dinner. His wife, tries to get him to be a little bit nicer. But the next morning, as it turns out, Mr. Jed Greenberg? Yes, Greenberg turns up dead. And they wonder, was it Robbie's cocoa?
Oh.
So, yes, it's a quick little cozy mystery. The cover is what kind of grabbed me at first, because there's these little skull marshmallows. Thank you, not mushrooms.
That would be weird in cocoa.
That would be really weird, floating in the cup of cocoa. And I thought,
cute.
That looks good.
Yeah.
It's read by Amy Landon, and like I said, it's about 3 hours, so that's a nice, easy listen, maybe if you're having a baking day or something like that. Wrapping presents.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Well, the other story I listened to, I picked because, we think of the holidays as like happy and fun, but some countries have creepy holiday traditions. Probably the most well-known in America is Krammpus. So he's like a creepy demon who accompanies Saint Nick in parts of Germany, and he makes sure the naughty kids are not naughty next year. So I ended up finding a middle grade book called Krammpus and the Thief of Christmas. It's by Eldritch Black, and I don't know if that's his real name, but if it is, it's fantastic if you're writing spooky novels. This was about 6 hours, which was like a perfect little, I think I listened to it in about 2 days. Fun read. So the plot is that Gabrielle Green and her brother Percival have recently moved in with their uncle and their not-so-nice cousin Matilda to this alpine village. And that's because their parents are thinking about separating, and they want to kind of have a moment to themselves without the kids to work things out. So, new place, new people that they got to learn, and they start hearing all about, you can't do that, Krammpus is going to get you, and of course they think this is ridiculous. Now, meanwhile, we get points of view from Krampus's village. Him and his demons have heard that Gabrielle is the naughtiest child in this neighborhood. He is actually mistaken, but she somehow evades all of their little traps. So he's trying to grab her so he can take her back, like all of the naughty children, and force her to work in his Black Mountain. And but she keeps evading him inadvertently. And so he goes, I know, I'll kidnap her goody two-shoes little brother, and then she'll follow to save him. So that does happen. He kidnaps Percival, who's 9 and like the most adorable, wholesome little boy ever. And so then Gabrielle has to go through a bit of a magical adventure to get to Percival, and then Krammpus offers her a deal. He needs her to steal, because she's so naughty, she must be good at stealing. He needs her to steal Father Christmas's key to like Christmas Village, and then he'll give Percival back. So you'll have to read it if you find out if she does it and like what the consequences might be. And I mean, it was silly. I would say it was definitely geared towards the people it was geared towards, middle grades. But it was just a fun, magical adventure, dark but festive comedy. And it was narrated by a gentleman named Hannibal Hills, who did this fantastic, like, polite British accent, but also while doing the Krammpus voice. It would be like, oh, Gabrielle, you are just the naughtiest child. So it was just very funny, and I enjoyed it.
Nice. Well, thinking of alternative holiday traditions, my last one is actually a children's book, and it's very short. It's 40 minutes.
Okay.
And it's called The Legend of the Christmas Witch. And it is written by Dan Murphy and Aubrey Plaza, narrated by Aubrey Plaza.
Okay, she's great.
Who you may know from Parks and Recreation.
Mm-hmm.
And the Christmas witch she's talking about is Christorn, who is a long-lost twin to Christopher, who was adopted by the Kringles and became Kris Kringle, who became Santa.
Okay.
So Christorn has the ability to talk to animals and to make fruit grow. But at some point in their childhood, and they're just growing up in the wild, raised by nature. But one day, while she's off doing her thing, Christopher is found by the Kringles, and they adopt him and take him away. And so this is the story of her search for him and how she became seen as kind of the bad alternative to Santa. But it's a really lovely story, and like I said, it's really quick.
Yeah.
So it's worth listening to just for something a little bit different.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, did that originally start as a picture book? Do you know?
Well, it says an illustrated children's book, but there's a lot more to it. I mean, it sounds like it was somewhere between your very simple children's picture book and
because
a chapter book.
Only like 6 minutes.
Right.
Read. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Cute.
So, yeah, it's a little different. It was nice.
Yeah.
And nice sound effects too. So I like those.
Well, we of course hope you have happy holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to take a break, and we will be back in 2023 in January with some sci-fi picks.
Yeah, because apparently National Sci-Fi Day is at the very beginning of January, and, well, we just got to go with the holiday again.
Yeah.
So
thanks for joining us, and have a happy holiday season.
And see you in the brand new year.